Hey, Jim Bergman with measureQuick. Been making some pretty substantial changes to the application. Some really cool stuff, some things you guys will be really excited about, and some other things that you may be surprised about. But I thought it'd be worth spending a few minutes to go over this because the changes are really a total restructuring for how we've been using the product and how you guys will use the product going forward. So about a couple of months ago, we started releasing multi-stage mode, and now we have a multi-circuit mode, and we got a lot of feedback from technicians in the field that they're really disappointed that they wanted to use these new modes in measureQuick, but they were quote unquote premium services. And got us to thinking, wow, that's really not our intent with measureQuick. We want to open up all the modes so you guys can do whatever you need to do in the field and you can be productive and really use measureQuick as a tool to leverage your smart probes and leverage the diagnostics measureQuick has, make you a better tech, make you more productive, make your job more fun. And we got to thinking about how much we've changed, the evolution of this product and what it's become today, and some of the features that we wanted to open up and how they were undermining, how some of the current features we had were sort of undermining what we were trying to do with measureQuick. Specifically, what was undermining it was the free report we've had out there for years, because to be quite frank with that, a lot of technicians, a lot of companies were looking at that free report and going, hey, this is good enough. And they weren't even taking an opportunity to look at some of our premium reporting services that do so much more because they figure, well, let's just use what's free. Well, the problem is with that is not so much for us from a revenue standpoint. Obviously we do want to make a living here at measureQuick. We do have a programming team. We've spent millions of dollars getting where we're at today with the application and giving away a lot of things along the line for no charge at all. But the idea behind this is industry transformation. And we just read another study here just this week. 7 out of 10 systems have faults. It was an automatic fault detection study. I'll post a link to it after we're done here. 7 out of 10 systems had diagnostic faults that would lead to efficiency problems or premature breakdown of the equipment. And that was 9 out of 10 to 10 out of 10 if you considered also duct leakage in there had faults and problems on there. And you got to ask yourselves, are your techs the ones that are finding them that way, or are they leaving them that way? Because if 100% of the systems effectively have either a refrigerant charge problem, an airflow problem, or a duct leakage problem, or another problem like a capacitor failing or something like that, then you're leaving revenue on the table. And part of the problem with our industry is transparency, and the new reports that we provide on here, there's a lot of features on there that are pretty expensive for us to maintain, and we want you guys to be able to take advantage of because they're going to provide you with additional revenue. Because when you can identify the problems that your customers have, provide the transparency through the reporting and the diagnostics to actually get that sale, it's going to add to your bottom line. And we've seen this over and over and over again. We have a large handful of customers that are actually using measureQuick the way that we engineered it. And those customers are seeing anywhere from 40 to 60% increase in revenues. They're seeing a decrease in callback. They're seeing their highest service contract retention ever. They're seeing their most new service contracts that they've had. They're seeing success after success after success because they deployed it the way that we wanted it deployed. And that's using the advanced features of the reporting, photo document things that are wrong, let measureQuick run a scan on the system and tell you what the faults are with that system, and then use that report to provide a third-party opinion for your customer about what needs to be fixed, get it fixed, and then turn around and show them how that piece of equipment's working. And then some of our contractors also are using this to document every installation they have to show that the performance that they sold that contractor is actually what the customer got when the performance they sold the customer is what they ended up getting when they were done with that job. So there's a ton of advantage to using this thing the way that it's engineered. And then the other thing we hear quite a bit is, well, I don't like the model for that. And the model for this was engineered in a way that is designed not to be an overhead cost. If you got to go out and you got software for your computers and you got to get 10 copies of Windows, that's an overhead cost. You got to have 10 copies. Everybody at the office has to have a copy, and you have to pay for that, monthly as a software as a service, whether you profit from it or not. And that's just the way it is. But you guys probably don't budget how many furnaces you're going to buy this year because you don't really pay for the furnaces. When a customer orders a new furnace comes in, you sell it to the customer pays for that furnace. Now you make a profit off that furnace, but you really don't pay for it. It's not an overhead cost. And that's exactly the way we designed measureQuick. measureQuick's not overhead. It's definitely an operational cost for a company. Because if you're using the reporting correctly, it's going to net you far more than you're going to spend, the $5 you're going to spend on a system per year to get the, number one, all the measurements aggregated in, run the diagnostics, get the reporting, sell those services that you want to sell to your customer. And so the idea behind this of charging a monthly fee, it turns it into an overhead cost where now you only pay for it when you use it, and you only pay for it on the jobs you want to use it on. And once you've paid for it once for the year, you're not paying for it again. If you want to run multiple tests, or if you want to go on a job and you want to identify the piece of equipment that needs to be replaced, use measureQuick to make the new equipment sale, and then install the new piece of equipment. There's no additional charge for that because it's all based upon the geolocation of that equipment. So that also includes your photo documentation, it includes your ServiceTitan integration if you're using ServiceTitan, it includes Virtuoso and pre-population of projects, as well as the remote viewing of those projects. So there's a ton of services that are tied into that, and we wanted to make sure that contractors were taking advantage of those. And contractors, again, some of them were looking at the free report as good enough. And so we looked at it and said, okay, well, how do we get this changed? And at the end of the day, we wanted to give tools to technicians. That's always been our goal, is to support you guys out in the field and support technicians in the field. But we wanted to correct some bad behavior with contractors because they weren't seeing the profits that they could if they used measureQuick the way that we designed it to be used. And so that's how we got the decision that we're on today. But anyway, if you got any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them below. And be glad to answer any questions you guys might have. But this is really designed to give you guys technicians in the field more of what you need, and again, for business owners to start to realize how to profit off of using measureQuick. If you got any questions or comments, again, we'd be glad to answer them, but hopefully this video helps explain why we changed some of the stuff we did, and look forward to hearing from you. This is Jim with measureQuick. Thanks a lot for watching.